Welcome, dear listeners, to another chilling episode of Wicked Whispers, where the shadows come alive and nightmares whisper their secrets. Tonight, we delve into a harrowing true story that has captivated and horrified audiences for decades. This is the story of Anneliese Michel, a young woman whose battle with demonic possession led to one of the most controversial exorcisms in modern history. Prepare yourself for an unsettling journey into the unknown. Anneliese Michel was born on September 21, 1952, in the small Bavarian town of Liebelfing, Germany. Raised in a devout Roman Catholic family, Anneliese's early life was marked by her piety and dedication to her faith. She was a bright, cheerful girl, beloved by her family and friends. But her seemingly idyllic life would soon be overshadowed by a darkness that no one could have predicted. In 1968, at the age of 16, Anneliese experienced her first episode. While at school, she suddenly blacked out and entered a trance-like state. Her friends and teachers were alarmed, but Anneliese could not remember what had happened. A few months later, she experienced another blackout, this time accompanied by uncontrollable shaking. Her parents took her to a neurologist, who diagnosed her with temporal lobe epilepsy. Despite the diagnosis, Anneliese's condition worsened. She began experiencing terrifying hallucinations and hearing voices condemning her to hell. She also developed an aversion to religious objects, unable to enter churches or look at crucifixes without feeling intense pain. These symptoms led her family to believe that something far more sinister was at play. Desperate for answers, Anneliese and her family sought the help of priests, believing she was possessed by demonic forces. They were initially met with skepticism, as the church was reluctant to grant an exorcism without thorough investigation. However, after witnessing her violent outbursts and her aversion to holy objects, Father Ernst Alt and Father Arnold Renz were convinced that she needed an exorcism. In 1975, after years of suffering, the church finally granted permission for an exorcism. Over the next 10 months, Father Alt and Father Renz performed 67 exorcism sessions on Anneliese. These sessions, lasting up to 4 hours each, were grueling and intense. Anneliese's condition deteriorated rapidly, both physically and mentally. She refused to eat, believing it would weaken the demons, and her weight plummeted to a dangerously low level. The exorcism sessions were documented by the priests, capturing the horrifying events that unfolded. Anneliese would often speak in multiple voices, growling and screaming in languages she had never learned. She exhibited superhuman strength, breaking free from restraints and hurling objects across the room. Her behavior was violent and unpredictable, causing great distress to her family and the priests. During these sessions, the demons identified themselves as Lucifer, Judas Iscariot, Nero, Cain, Hitler, and a disgraced priest named Fleischmann. They claimed to have been cast out of heaven and condemned to torment Anneliese. The priests continued their exorcisms, praying and invoking the names of saints to drive out the demonic forces. Despite their efforts, Anneliese's condition showed no signs of improvement. By the spring of 1976, Anneliese was gravely ill. She suffered from severe malnutrition and dehydration, her body weakened from the relentless torment. Yet, she remained steadfast in her faith, believing that her suffering was a test from God. On July 1, 1976, at the age of 23, Anneliese Michel passed away in her home. Her final words to her mother were, "Mother, I'm afraid." Anneliese's death sparked a massive controversy, leading to a criminal investigation. Her parents and the two priests, Father Alt and Father Renz, were charged with negligent homicide. The trial, which took place in 1978, drew international attention. The defense argued that Anneliese had consented to the exorcisms and that her death was the result of demonic possession. The prosecution, however, contended that she had been suffering from a mental illness and that the exorcisms had led to her death. Medical experts testified that Anneliese's symptoms could be attributed to psychological and neurological conditions, exacerbated by her extreme religious beliefs. The court found the defendants guilty of manslaughter resulting from negligence, sentencing them to 6 months in prison, suspended, and 3 years of probation. The case remains one of the most debated instances of alleged demonic possession and exorcism in modern history. The story of Anneliese Michel has had a profound impact on popular culture, inspiring books, documentaries, and films, including the 2005 horror movie The Exorcism of Emily Rose. Her grave in Klingenberg am Main has become a site of pilgrimage for those who believe in her sainthood and martyrdom. Despite the controversy, many continue to view Anneliese as a tragic figure who endured unimaginable suffering. The exorcism of Anneliese Michel remains a haunting and cautionary tale, raising questions about the intersection of faith, mental health, and the supernatural. Whether viewed as a victim of a rare medical condition or as a martyr who battled demonic forces, Anneliese's story continues to captivate and terrify audiences around the world. Thank you for joining us on this harrowing journey into the life and death of Anneliese Michel. If you found this episode of Wicked Whispers intriguing, don't forget to like, subscribe,